We're back! Finally! It's been a tough few weeks. Today, we're gonna be talking about the OnePlus 6. Very interesting topic. I'm sure you know. I'm sure you've learnt lots about it in the past few days, but there we go. It's gonna be a cool one. Stay tuned. Design. Now, the phone comes in 3 different colours, which they're pretty good colours. It comes in matte black, mirror black, and also this kind of glossy white with gold at the side. It's kind of exotic. Someone who goes to like somewhere like Harrods might have it. Hint. It kind of just says, I'm a rich mother.
I am the captain!
I am the captain now. No games, Irish. No games.
Now, something that I don't really like about 2018 phones is the notch. Now, this phone has a notch. Why? It's like a weird little thing at the top of the phone that you just don't want there. It's out of place. Luckily, with the software, you can hide it by just putting like a black bar at the top, which is better, but I still just want it gone. Banished. And also, another thing that I don't understand about OnePlus is they put this chin at the bottom. I mean, it has a chin. Like, a chin. And it's like, it just has no meaning. It also has a pretty cool feature that it has is a little volume rocker. Well, I don't know, actually, some other phones have that. It's just like one button for the volume up and down at each end. But another cool feature is the textured mute. It's the textured mute button on the side of the phone, on the right side of the phone, and you just you move it up and down if you want to mute it. In terms of weight, it's 177 grams, which is actually a bit heavier than the other phone because it has a glass back. Now, I don't know. Some people like it. Do I? I guess we'll never know. Now, the frame, it's actually 155.7 by 75.4 by 7.8 millimeters, which is, I know it's quite big. It's quite big for a phone. It's like a phablet. It's fabulous.
Oh.
Get it? Because it's like a phone and a tablet mixed together. Fusion. Now, the frame is actually made out of aluminium. Nice material made through electrolysis, carbon electrodes, cathode and anode, mixed with cryolite. That's it.
To reduce the temperature from 2000 to 900 degrees Celsius.
Reduce the temperature of the mixture. Actually,
to make it
done,
molten.
son. Get done.
None of that rubbish from the idiot behind the camera. Well, what's really important here is the display, because, you know, it's one of the most impressive displays that we've seen. It's got probably one of the best vibrancies, and they've copied a lot from Samsung, definitely. But, you know, they've got that stupid notch, and nobody likes it. So what they've done is in the software they let you hide it by basically blackening the top bit of the screen. But it's still functional, it still says the time and all of that, so it's not just like with the iPhone X where they sometimes just completely blank it out, and it's just a waste of space. But what's important is that the display is 6.28 inches, which is actually pretty large, and the notch is pretty small, so you get quite a lot of screen space on the left and right of it. It's an AMOLED panel, which is, you know, close to what Samsung are using. And it's best for high vibrancy. It's not like those old iPhones with the LCD displays that have no colour and they're like really dodgy. The pixels on the display are actually 1080 by 2280 pixels, which gives you a really high quality HD display. Not 4K, but none of the other companies have managed to break that barrier yet. So, you know, being a budget phone, around £500, it's actually quite good. Okay, another important thing is the increased strength on the glass panel on the front of the display. It's Gorilla Glass 5, which is the latest and greatest. and it actually gives you quite a lot of scratch resistance, as you can see if you watch Jerry Rig Everything's video where he destroys people's phones. The phone runs one of my favourite softwares, Oxygen OS, and it is one of my favourite softwares because it's really close to stock Android, but it gives you a few benefits of its own. It gives you like this side panel which organises your notes and things for you, but if you don't like it, you can just download the Google Launcher for free. One of the most important upgrades with this software is the new gesture system, which Google's Beta P software has, but this is OnePlus's own version. It's really similar to what the iPhone X has, but you know, it's Android, so it's probably better. The final thing for software and sort of like general hardware is the fingerprint sensor, which they've decided to keep, unlike Apple. And their one's a bit strange. It's not a circle, it's more like an oval shape, and so it covers less area of your finger, but you know, they've tested it and it's actually pretty fast. In addition to this, for security, you've got your face unlock if you want it. And what like other people have been saying is that it's extremely fast compared to other companies, and so you might even consider using it.
For the chipset, it actually has a Snapdragon 845, which was a few months ago was just exclusive to Samsung, but now other companies have it, which is good. We like to share. It also has an Adreno 630 GPU, pretty cool. We like to see GPUs in phones, nice for gaming, nice when you don't have a PC, you're off the grid. In terms of RAM and storage, you get 6 or 8 gigabytes of RAM. In terms of storage, you either get 64, 128 or 256 gigabytes of storage. Pretty good selection there. And quite a lot of RAM actually for a phone, that's amazing. Battery. It has a 3300 mAh battery. Good, pretty average. It's a pretty average size for a battery, but what's interesting here, it's very interesting, is that the software is so good that it can actually increase the battery life so much that you're getting like, it will definitely last you a day or more. It's good to me. And you get dash charge, so you can get like, this is pretty amazing stuff, but it promises to get 63% on a 30-minute charge. That's pretty damn good, if I say so myself. One thing that I just don't understand, it has a glass back, but it doesn't have wireless charging. That is just insane. Why wouldn't you add it? Who knows? But I guess the dash charge makes up for it. But not to me. If I'm out and about, phone's down, run into a cafe, put my phone on the charger. Oh wait. Doesn't have wireless charging. Oh well, guess we'll just bin it.
One thing which arguably, for me, is the most important thing with a smartphone is, like on the Pixel 2, the camera. Obviously, the OnePlus camera won't compete on a level like this, but, you know, what can we do? No other phones can. And, you know, even though it keeps those two lenses, it's a shame that it doesn't have telephoto lens. I don't get why they didn't do it. Like, what's the point? What's the point in having two lenses if you're not going to have a telephoto lens? The main lens is a 16 megapixel f1.7 aperture lens. So this is pretty wide angle. And like, some people are really into that because you can capture more. Some people arguably think that that's actually way more important than having the telephoto lens on a smartphone. They do seem to have like the 2 times multiplication feature on like the camera, and I think that they're trying to make it seem like they have the telephoto lens, which is really sneaky. Okay, one thing which I do enjoy on all these new smartphones, including this one, is that the main lens does have optical image stabilization. Unfortunately, the second lens below it, which is 20 megapixels, really impressive, does not have this, and like, that might stop you from using it as much. The second lens is actually also a 1.7 aperture lens, so there's no change in the actual width of the image over there. I believe that like in the coming month they're going to bring a software update so you can actually do portrait mode using these 2 lenses as well. So we'll be waiting for that. So one of the main things for me when it comes to video is that this phone films in 4K at 30 or 60 frames per second. Now, normally this is something that you only see on the top flagships, and you know, technically you could classify this as one of those with its specs, but price-wise, which we'll come to later, it doesn't qualify, which is better. You can also film at 1080p and 30 or 60 frames per second as well, but I don't know why you'd want to do that. You know, ridiculous. Another thing which I love personally, that you know my colleague doesn't appreciate, is the fact that this phone does slow-mo at 480 frames per second. Like, I can see why he might be skeptical, and that's because Samsung have 960 frames per second, super slow-mo. But you know, this one might be better quality, and you know, nobody uses slow-mo that much anyway. The front camera is an impressive, whopping 16 megapixel lens with an f2.0 aperture lens, which is a bit narrower than the back cameras. So, you know, it's really good for selfies, and hopefully they'll be putting portrait mode onto that as well. Let me enlighten you now with ports on this phone. We've got the standard USB-C, which is great. We've got a down-firing speaker on the bottom, which isn't like the stereo system on the Google Pixel or the Samsung S9, but you know, it will do for now. I don't know why they've done this, but they've decided that a dual SIM card slot is more important to them than expandable storage. Like, no. You don't want that one bus. Now, it's not too late, so what you can do is you can change that and come back in 5 months with the upgraded version. Now, one thing which you have done okay is kept the headphone jack. I didn't like your little teaser on the keynote where you hinted that there wouldn't be one and thought that that would make it more impressive when there was one. And that was really cheap. Not going to forget that.
Expect your sincere apology in the post within next week.
What's in the box? You know, what is in the box? You tell me. Actually, no, because I'm going to tell you. But obviously, you get that amazing charger. You know, it's so beautiful with its elegant, vivid red colours sweeping in, unlike a snake. And they've paid attention to detail. You see, from watching some videos about the manufacturing process, I have learnt that even the inside bit of the charger where the USB goes into, it's coloured red to resemble the OnePlus beautiful colour scheme. And then along with this amazing charger, you get what is the most dull see-through case I've ever seen in my life. You know, I've heard that the only reason they put it in the box is because it's what they use to store the phone in while it's in factory production so it doesn't get scratched. And they couldn't be bothered to take it out and give you a nice one. Apparently it has something to do with shipping damage as well, but you know, if they were careful, that wouldn't happen. I've just been informed by my colleague that they also have a screen protector pre-installed onto the screen. And now you may think that that's for your own benefit, but no. It's to stop shipping damage once again, which shows that they're just selfish. Because if they really cared, they would give you a glass screen protector. But no. And then you get, you know, the classic guides, SIM card opener, you know, everything that we love. You know, you might as well just throw the phone away and keep the box. Now I'm going to pass back to what has to be the most incompetent person I've ever met in my life.
My conclusion is that this is a phone. It makes calls. It has a torch. Alright, this is a good phone. Would I buy it myself? I just don't know. But I probably wouldn't, because I already have a nice phone. I have the Google Pixel 2 XL Panda White with orange thing button, with the orange on button, with the orange power button, quirky. But, you know, it's a good phone. Fast, good software, and, well, everything you would need in a phone. I'd say it was a contestant for every other phone, and it costs about half the price. So, you know, it only cost between $529 up to maybe £600. Good enough for me. So it's a good phone. I recommend it.
Back to me. Yeah. What I want to say is that, you know, the slick, elegant curves complement the beautiful mirror-like design. Anyway, the point is, if you do the maths, which is why I'm holding a pencil, the only way you could possibly get this phone is if you subscribe to our channel. Because, like, the button's really important. If you click that button, it actually sends £500 to your bank account. And if you click the like button, then, you know, you can be on that godly level like the OnePlus 6. And therefore, all I've got left to say is, you know, peace out.